In today's video, we'll be looking through this Guess the Pokemon book. So hopefully you are ready to brush up on your Pokemon knowledge. So we open up with a little message from Ash. From the deepest sea to the darkest cave, or even just hanging out in your backyard, Pokemon can be found everywhere. This book will introduce you to wonderful Pokemon from all of the currently known regions of the Pokemon world. Learn fun facts about Pokemon, big and small, and see if you have what it takes to guess all the different types of Pokemon. Alright, so I think it's set up by showing kind of an outline and a clue for each Pokemon, and then the following page tells you what it was. It gives a fact. Alright, so let's start off with this one. And now some of these might be easy, some might be difficult, depending on how well you know your Pokemon. So this one says a flying fire breather. And I think the first few pages have a lot of the original Pokemon, and then we get into the newer ones. Let's look at this one right in the middle. A crafty collector who loves shiny things. This water type always seems to have a headache. Definitely know this one too. This Pokemon has many fluffy tails. This used to be one of my favorites when I was a kid. And now on the bottom here, a bulb grows on the back of this Pokemon. Okay, this Pokemon can make shadows move. This Pokemon makes a huge splash. This one should be easy. A mouse Pokemon with electric type moves. I think even if you're not a Pokemon fan, you should be able to guess this one. And now this is a very big one. It says, this water type glides across the sea. And then for this one, giant petals sprout from this Pokemon. Alright, let's see how many you got right. So first up was Charizard. Type fire flying. Charizard can melt boulders with its red hot breath. Sometimes forest fires are caused by this flame Pokemon. Then Meowth. When Meowth is feeling happy, it might reveal its shiny treasure collection to a trainer. Maybe keep track of how many you get right and how many you get wrong. I'm going to do the same thing. Psyduck. This duck Pokemon gets annoying headaches. Psyduck can get some relief from the pain by releasing its strange psychic power. Bulbasaur. This Pokemon is born with a bulb growing on its back that over time gradually grows larger. And then Vulpix. While young, this fox Pokemon has 6 beautiful tails. As it gets older, more and more fluffy tails grow. next, Gengar, a ghost Pokemon. I always thought it was really cool. Gengar loves to cause mischief. It creates laughing shadows that move around in the light of the full moon. Cute little Squirtle. Squirtle is a tiny turtle Pokemon. It can retract its neck into its shell and send out a powerful jet of water to drench anyone in its path. Now Lapras is a water ice Pokemon. This intelligent and kind-hearted Pokemon sings a beautiful song as it floats through the waves. Now Pikachu was the one I was saying, hopefully you would be able to guess. Pikachu can send out sizzling electric bolts. It stores electricity in its soft, stretchy cheek sacs. And then a Vileplume was on the bottom. Vileplume's petals are pretty but dangerous. They are filled with poisonous pollen that can be shaken out in thick clouds. Alright, so how'd you do? Hopefully you got a few. Let's move on to the next page. Starting at the top. A cute creature that sings sweet lullabies. This lazy Pokemon goes to sleep after eating. That definitely sounds like me after a long day of work. Okay, the bottom left, a trusty and brave fire type. And then bottom right, this Pokemon flaps its wings in battle. A deep digging a team of 3. That's a good clue. The weakest Pokemon of them all. Now, even though it's the weakest, it definitely evolves into a very strong Pokemon. There's another clue for you. A rarely found fairy-type Pokemon. Rarely found. This rotten Pokemon is full of poisonous gas. Let's look at the bottom. A fluffy evolution Pokemon. And this Pokemon does not evolve. Alright, I think I have them all in my head. Hopefully you know a few as well. Let's see what the answers are. So starting at the top, we had Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff uses its amazing lung capacity to keep singing lullabies until all of its enemies have fallen asleep. Snorlax. Known as the sleeping Pokemon, Snorlax likes to eat at least 880 pounds of food a day. Now on the bottom we had Growlithe. This courageous Pokemon is a fiery fighter. It will stand up to any foe, no matter how big or small. And then Butterfree. This Pokemon is great in battle. Butterfree can release toxic dust in the air by flapping its wings extra fast. And then Dugtrio. A A solo Diglett joins two pals to become a deck trio. This mole Pokemon can dig up to 60 miles underground and cause huge earthquakes. Magikarp, the weakest Pokemon. Regarded as one of the weakest and most pathetic Pokemon, this floppy creature evolves into the fierce Gyarados. I always thought that was so cool, and so Gyarados was always one of my favorites. Clefairy. Adorable Clefairy gathered to dance under the full moon. It is said happiness will come to those who are lucky enough to see them. Coughing. The poisonous gas. Coughing loves the reek of rotting trash. It is drawn to garbage dumps and polluted air. And then Mew is the Pokemon that does not evolve. Mew's short, beautiful hair is so fine it can only be seen under a microscope. Actually, did not know that. Kind of a cool fact. And then Eevee. Due to Eevee's unusual genetic makeup, it can alter its body to adapt to the world around it. I think some of these are going to get challenging for me, because I'm not as familiar with the newer generations of Pokemon. I know some of them from different games I've played, but I definitely don't have them all memorized like the original. Okay, starting off, this steely creature can live for a long time. A Pokemon that is born deep underground. This Spike Ball Pokemon is filled with joy. And then on the bottom, this Pokemon hides its sharp claws. And a tiny bird Pokemon that climbs trees. This psychic type hates being surprised. Pokemon disguised as a tree. I actually have no clue what this one is. An easygoing swimmer that bumps into boats. This Pokemon carries food all day. And then watch out for this Pokemon's squirts of ink. First up was Steelix. A steel ground-type Pokemon. If Steelix lives for more than 100 years, its body transforms to become tougher and diamond-like. Togepi. I always thought it was so cute. Togepi's shell is filled with happiness. It is ready to share its joy when discovered. Trainers can gain good luck by treating it kindly. Larvitar. After Larvitar has eaten a large mountain of soil, it falls asleep for a long time. While it sleeps, it grows. Down here we had Sneasel. Not to be messed with, this Pokemon can shock a foe with just the sudden reveal of its sharp claws. And then Natu. Natu likes to look for tasty sprouts to peck. Its wings are so small it can't fly, so it has learned to be a great climber instead. Also, there is a possibility that for some of these I'm not pronouncing them correctly, so I'm sorry if that's the case. Wobbuffet. A favorite of Team Rocket, Wobbuffet can inflate its body to look bigger and tougher when threatened. I remember this one from one of the Pokemon TV show episodes. So that's the only reason I remembered it. I think this one is Sudowoodo. This imitation Pokemon copies a tree to avoid being noticed. It dislikes water and will run away from the rain. Delibird. This life-saving Pokemon delivers food whenever and wherever it is needed. It has fed many lost, starving people and Pokemon. Octillery. Octillery chooses to hide its rocky crags or pods for protection. It squirts ink from the shadows before making its attack. Quagsire. A carefree water fish Pokemon, Quagsire often bumps into obstacles in the water, but doesn't seem to mind. Alright, let's do one more page. There are actually, let me see how many pages. It's 50 pages in this book. So I'm just going to randomly choose a page. And we'll just see how many we can guess. Alright, first up. A Pokemon with a copper body. This Pokemon is a talented tap dancer. Actually, don't know what this one is. Boo-hoo, this woeful weeper makes others cry too. A puppy Pokemon that herds others. This Pokemon has a strong bite. And this Pokemon is sweet and creamy. Oh, I'm glad we got this one. This Pokemon goes on destructive rampages. And look how big it is. This cheeky Pokemon eats berries. Eek. This ghost type is full of supernatural energy. And last, a nibbler that makes its own electricity. Alright, first is Qfent. This strong Pokemon can easily carry 5 tons of weight without a care in the world. That's the same as carrying more than 755 Pikachu. Mr. Rime. Mr. Rime likes to put on a fancy show. It waves its ice cane in time to its dazzling tap dancing. Alchemy. This Pokemon will treat a trusted trainer to a generous helping of sweet berries and cream. Yamper. This Pokemon runs around to create electricity in its tail. After work, Yamper enjoys a tasty treat. Sobble. This makes the eyes of anyone nearby well up. Down here we have Dreadnought. This hard-shelled tough Pokemon can rapidly extend its neck to snap distant prey. Its strong fangs can even bite through steel rods. And then Gyarados. And again, this is the Pokemon that Magikarp evolves into. I think this is Squivit. Squivit lives in the Galar region. It gets nervous if it doesn't have at least one berry in its cheeks. Cursula. The core of this coral Pokemon is protected by ghostly ectoplasm. If anyone touches Cursula, they become stiff as a stone. This one I actually have no clue. I think it's Morpeko. Morpeko stores seeds in pocket-like pouches on its belly. It gobbles up the seeds to generate electricity. Alright, so how did you do? Like I said, there are so many pages, so if you enjoyed this, I'd love to do another video. So let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Pokemon today. I'll see you in the next video.